All right. Welcome to another episode of Finding the Seams. I am Rick Bucher. That is the Reverend Brendan Haywood. Finding the Seams is
Preach, preach,
sponsored by the
preach,
new
Rick,
Air Club, a
preach.
door-to-door private jet service that will take care of your every need at an unbeatable price. What sets New Air apart is that it does more than arrange your private jet and crew. They will handle ground transportation, hotel, catering, security, you name it. And because they bundle their service, you can be sure the trip will cost exponentially less. Not everyone can afford private jet travel, but for those who can, make sure that you're getting as much luxury for every dollar as you deserve. Check out their website at newairclub.com to see exactly how luxurious travel can be. All right. So, for all of our listeners out there, especially, you are about to have the experience of your lives, or at least the experience that you've been waiting to have on this show. Reverend, could you just give them a little something? Could you just give them a taste
I'm
of
just
what
gonna
they
give
have?
you wow, wow, wow. Does it sound good?
Oh,
Are we coming in loud and clear?
that's it. That's it. No feedback, no reverb. Like, I think we actually might have something here. People won't be fighting through the audio in order to listen to all that we have to say. You in particular, Brendan. So I don't. It just came out as we're recording this. The league has approved the qualifications of Luka Dončić and Cade Cunningham in spite of not reaching 65 games. I believe Cade got to 63 and Luka got to 64. They petitioned to be still eligible. The NBA talked to the players union. They decided, yes, we're going to make them eligible. Let's start there. Did they get it right in terms of making this exception?
I'm for it just because you want to see the right guys have a chance to win the awards. I know we set the threshold up, and I think the threshold did its job. It made sure that the stars were out there for a large majority of the season. And we didn't have guys, taking a bunch of rest days. And in a guy like Cade and Luka, they were really, really injured. But it wasn't a bunch of these rest days and managed days and where we were getting 10, 15 rest days from our star players. That's why the rule was initially put in place. I think the league got it right. Also, there probably wasn't going to be a lot of pushback from the owners because if you take guys like Cade and Luka off of first team, there's a trickle-down effect.
Mm.
And now you start to get some of these guys that get snuck on the third team that probably don't belong there, and they have triggers and escalators in their contract. So
Yep.
not lost on me is that there are probably a lot of franchises in the NBA that were clapping that Cade and Luka are on first team because you don't want to have to pay a guy that's good but not that a max salary because he hit an escalator in his contract.
Yep. No, agreed. And I do believe that a big pushback from any of the players about the 65 game rule. I want to make this clear for the fans out there because I think there's a lot of fans that believe, oh, the players don't want to play. No, it's not that. They want to protect their money. And because the 65 game rule and the awards that are given as a result are connected to your ability to be eligible for supermax contracts. That's why guys were concerned about the rule being firm and fast. So, what I'm interested to see is because I know this to be the case, and you probably do too. At the beginning of the year, the medical staffs and the teams will look at the schedule and they will map out games that they are anticipating that their main players will sit. And I want to see if, because of the rule and because of the potential repercussions with, say, a guy like Anthony Edwards, who also petitioned and ultimately his petition was not received. He is not eligible. I think he only played 60 games. But he also, if I remember correctly, it wasn't all injury. There were rest days that were built in for an Anthony Edwards, who at his age, I'm like, really? Really? We need to build in rest days? So I'm curious to see whether that approach changes now as a result, because I really think the rule was put in to end that sort of practice.
I think there still will be rest days scheduled
Mm,
because the rest that you're basically what happens is to basically go deeper into it. The training staff gets with the front office and they say, "Hey, listen, at this time of the season, this guy is more amped to get injured because of this many games, this many nights, this small amount of rest. We can maximize his ability if we just take him off of this game, let his body recover, and then get him back into the fray."
yeah,
I still think that's going to be included. But guess what? Just because you have a scheduled rest day doesn't mean you can't alter the schedule. And I
yeah,
think that's what we're going to see is like, hey, maybe a guy was supposed to miss certain games in April and May. And now that guy said, listen, I can't miss that game. I want to be MVP. The team's going to want that guy to be MVP. So they're going to say, you know what? I know you were supposed to miss this game in the middle of this 3-5 stretch, but yeah, you don't have any more days left, so we're
yeah.
gonna find a way to move past that. I think that's what you're gonna see.
I will say the most damning result of the 65 game schedule is the fact that Nikola Jokic in mid-January could only miss one more game. He did not miss a single game. And
Not one.
not not one. So this
Even
idea,
even that meaningless last game. Do you think that Joker's playing that last game
no chance.
when
No
Wemby
chance.
wasn't playing?
No chance.
No chance.
Yeah.
Now they're like, well, big fella got a chance to at least be in the MVP race. So we gotta
Yeah.
go ahead and get him out there for that game.
Yeah. Speaking of the MVP race, with Cade and Luka, and we have still. This is what I'm really curious. Like Kendrick Perkins is defending that he voted for Con Knipple, and Bill Simmons said that he voted for SGA. I can tell you as a voter, as of right now, as we record this, the ballots have not been sent out. They had to resolve who was eligible, right? Luka
Right.
and Cade being and Anthony Edwards being three of the biggest. They may have been the only ones that petitioned, as far as I know. But in any case, man, they made my job a lot more difficult because we now have 6 guys that are worthy of both the MVP ballot and NBA first team, and there's only 5 spots in both cases. So you and I talked about this when it came to MVP, and I believe that Luka was the guy that you were leaving off of outside of the 6. So it was SGA, Jokic, Wemby, Jaylen Brown, and Cade Cunningham. Not in that particular order, but those 5. And Luka was the odd man out. Is it any different for your NBA first team? Because I believe at this point now it's you don't have to go by position. It's just you pick the 5 best.
No, for me, I'm staying with that same 5.
Okay.
I understand that Luka had a incredible year coming down the stretch. Just an incredible year in general, not coming down the stretch. Just
Mm-hmm.
he played great. But for me, I look at what Jaylen Brown did this year, offensively and defensively,
Yeah.
and pretty much this is what it comes down to for me. The only guy that's not on Brendan Haywood's first team All NBA ballot, who I don't get a vote, which is still crazy. I should get a vote.
I think you should too.
I definitely
Based on some of the other names that I've seen out there.
Yeah, I've seen some crazy people get a vote. I should get a vote. But what I'm saying is that the only person that doesn't really play on both ends is Joker.
Yeah.
And I
Of
think that
your 5.
Joker, yeah, out of my 5, because like I said, I got Joker, Wemby, Cade, Jaylen Brown, and SGA.
Mm-hmm.
The only guy that doesn't play defense on that list is Joker, and I'm putting him first team All NBA because of, first of all, the success that Denver has had, and then he just did something at the center spot that has never been done before. Actually, not the center spot in the NBA. He led the NBA in rebounding and assists. Let that sink in. There has never been a player as diverse as Joker that's good enough to lead this league in rebounding, but assists. We've had guys that lead in assists and scoring, but not rebounding and assists. So that's
It's
why I got
crazy.
Joker up there.
Yeah. No, it is a very unique accomplishment. And the idea that he would do that, and he's probably not going to win MVP.
No, it's SGA's award. SGA is going to get MVP. Right now, the NBA can just send out a note. Hey, all other applicants need not apply. SGA is averaging over 30. He's shooting like a Shaq, like 56% from the field. And then at the same time, the Oklahoma City Thunder are so far ahead in the score in the wins column over everybody else that we know what it is. It's SGA's award.
Do you? There's also the clutch player award, and he's up for that. Do you put him at the top of that list too?
SGA?
Yeah.
I would have to go pull up all of the clutch numbers, but
Yeah.
just by the eyeball test, yeah. like when it comes down to it, he's never scared of the moment. He hits clutch shots. He hits clutch free throws. He had that stretch in the year where he hit like back-to-back daggers, one over Draymond. I forgot who the other one was over. It's just like, man, like SGA is so cold, but he's underappreciated because of this foul baiting narrative. And I hate the foul baiting narrative with a passion because they keep saying, oh man, he gets all these fouls that no one else ever got. And I'm looking at it like, okay, SGA goes to the free throw line 9 times a game.
Yeah.
Like Kobe had a stretch where he went to the free throw line 10 times a game for like 3 straight years. Like, go look up how many times Michael Jordan went to the free throw. Stars going to the free throw line is nothing new. Mm-hmm. And a guy going 9 times at the pace that these guys are playing, it's not unheard of. It's not crazy. So I hate that people talk so much about the foul baiting narrative with SGA instead of the footwork, the dynamic scoring, the leadership, the person that he is, everything that he embodies. That's why he's going to get the MVP, not because of these free throws. He deserves the MVP 2 times. That's what, 2 times.
I think what's hilarious is he doesn't lead the league in free throw attempts. Luka Doncic did that. He shoots a high percentage, and I think he might make the most because he shoots a higher percentage. But why do you think it is, for all the things that you pointed out, which I agree with? Why do you think that he is looked at in so many circles in a negative light?
I got it.
Okay.
SGA is viewed as a foul baiter because of the social media era that we're in. We have a whole generation that doesn't watch games. They watch clips. So they can be influenced by a clip here or a clip there, but they didn't watch the full 4 quarters. And even if they're watching, they're on their phone. They're not really watching. So you can sell somebody that's not paying attention that all SGA does is come down there, pump fake, get fouled, and stiff arm people. But if you're really watching the game and you understand what you're watching, most of the time he's beating you with footwork, step backs, up and unders, half spins, crossovers, bump offs. Like, he has an incredible array of offensive moves.
Yep.
But they show you these clips and they make these little shorts and these mini videos on YouTube that go viral. Yep. And it has people that aren't really paying attention, locking in for a 4 quarters, thinking that this guy comes out there and gets 15 to 17 free throws a game, and that's why he averages 30.
And that's his entire game, which is just to create.
Last year, if you took out his free throws, he'd have still been the highest scoring bucket getter in the league.
Yeah. Not only that, but that's his whole game. Like, they don't look at the fact that that it's just a part of it. This is what I appreciate the most, and which baffles me the most about the fact that people are so critical about him. It baffles me on one hand, it doesn't on the other. And I have another reason why I think that he gets the criticism that he does. But it's that when he doesn't get a call, he doesn't complain. Like, he's not demonstrative, and he doesn't stop playing. It's not like the other team gets the ball and goes the other way and he's still in the backcourt, like, gesturing, right? He doesn't get the call. He plays. He might look at the ref. He might say something, but he's not Luka. Like, he's not LeBron. There's so many other guys that are looking for it and then are trying to berate the referee into giving it to him the next time. Shai does not do that. And it's ultimately not on him to blow the whistle. Like, why are we blaming him for having figured out what the referees are going to call a foul or not. But this is why I believe that he gets the hate, because it's because of all the things that you said, because there's nothing else to criticize him about. He's a good dude. He's a family man. He's clean cut. He's loved by his teammates. He's unselfish. He has a complete game. He plays at both ends. And the Oklahoma City Thunder look like they're pretty untouchable too right now. Like, what are you going to complain? What are you going to find wrong with the Oklahoma City Thunder right now? And we've seen this over the years. Like Michael Jordan, when he was first coming along, like it was, oh, he's ruining the game because it's too isolationist. It's and whatever. He's like he's selling shoes. He won't take a political stand. I think when people get to the very top, there's an effort to find something wrong, to knock them off that pedestal somehow. I think we saw it with Steph Curry when he first came to light. Oh, but he doesn't play defense. He's that light-skinned dude who is just, it's always trying to find a way to diminish what somebody has done or is doing.
People like to go along with the ride, but they don't want to be there when you park. As far as when you on your way to greatness, they love seeing you get to greatness. They love seeing you get there. But then when you get there, then it's kind of like, how can we tear him down? We're tired of seeing him win. We see this all the time in sports. Think back to football. The Patty Mahomes story was the greatest story in the world when he first started winning. And then it was like anybody but the Chiefs. That's what people wanted to see.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, for everybody complaining about SGA, back before y'all were paying attention, he used to go to the free throw line 11 times. No one said jack.
It's exactly
He
right.
went to the free throw times 11 times, but this was before they were championship contenders. It was, ooh, he's up. He's coming. And then all of a sudden he started winning, but he actually went to the free throw line less. He goes to the free throw line less now than when he first started really becoming who we see him to be, the player that he is today. And now people are starting to complain. SGA has figured out two things in this game. First and foremost, I will take threes, but I ain't gonna take as many as most of y'all. Most stars, you're seeing them. I was watching the Hornets. LaMelo Ball took 16 threes the other night, only hit 2. SGA takes 4 a game. And guess what? He gets to that mid-range and he murders you.
Yep.
If you're really watching ball, what he really does is he is elite from the free throw, from I say inside the 3-point line to about the middle of the paint. He destroys that matchup one-on-one, night in and night out. If you're small, he posts you up. If you're big, he hits you with a dribble move. If you're not strong, he hits you with a quick little bump off and gets to his bump fade. If you play excellent defense, he has the pump fakes and the up and unders. He has everything from about 17 to 13 feet to destroy one-on-one matchups. And he averages 7 assists. So when you start sending the doubles, he knows exactly where the ball is supposed to go.
Yeah.
That is why he's going to get the MVP. Stop talking to me about these daggone fouls.
I'm with you. I'm going to throw a curve at you. We've had all of the first play-in games at this point as we record. Is there one of them that the result was most surprising for you, that you didn't see coming? We had Portland beat the Suns on their home floor. We had the Warriors beat the Clippers on their home floor. We had Charlotte beat Miami in overtime, and we had Philadelphia beat Orlando. Among those, is there one that stands out where you go, I didn't see that coming? Or maybe there's more than one.
I'll say there's not one game where I can say I didn't see that coming, because it's a one-game situation. All these teams are pretty good. But there was one game that stood out to me. There was 2 where I'm looking at the team's best player now a little funny in the light. I'm watching Orlando. I'm thinking to myself, I don't know about Paolo. I once thought he was I thought he was going to be in that group with Ant-Man and SGA and Luka that kept on getting better and hey, they're going to be the guys. Now I'm watching him. He looks like light-skinned Julius Randle. And what I mean by that is Julius Randle take him back to when he was playing with the Knicks. You watched him play and you were like, he's a really good player. He's an all-star.
Yeah.
But he's not good enough to carry a team.
Yeah.
But then you started watching him play and you're like, but he has enough chinks in his armor that you don't want him to be the number 2 guy either because he doesn't score well without the basketball. That's Paolo. If you watch Paolo, he catches, hold, jab. He never catches and just shoots. He never catches and moves it. It's catch, hold, stop, ball. Everybody watch me. And he's a great player, but he's not great enough to play like that and the team win.
I agree.
So when I watched the play-in, the first thing I thought was, okay, Orlando might have a problem because they went all in to win now, and I don't think their best player is capable of getting them over that hump. They gave up 4 picks for Bane. So you're saying when you give up 4 picks for a player, you said for one guy, you're saying, hey, we don't need new young guys. We're all in right now. I don't think they're that team. I don't know if he's that. Hey, what they say? Hey, pal, you're not that guy. I don't know if he's that guy.
I'm not willing to go there with Paolo yet. Ooh. I have major issues only because I know his history. He's one of the guys in my book on the value of being coachable. So I know how he came up. I know how he was developed.
Coach K, are you taking this stance just because he was in your book?
I'm taking this stance because I know his history and because I'm really puzzled by what I'm seeing. Because I feel like we saw early on where he was a playmaker, where he was doing a lot more than he's doing now. And I'm looking at where he's getting the ball and how he's being asked to operate. And I don't like it. I think you have to run a different offense for him. He's not your, allow him to get to places where he can use his size and strength to either score or be a playmaker. And there's far too many times where I see him at the top or on the wing. And I'm like, those aren't places that I want Paolo. He doesn't shoot the 3 well enough for him to operate from there. I need him getting the ball in the pinch post and operating sort of like a Paul Pierce. And I don't have any reason to believe that he can't have a Paul Pierce game. I do think that he has to make decisions quicker. But all of that to me is part of how your team runs. And maybe I'm giving him an alibi, but you've had so many moving parts in terms of Jalen Suggs being in and out, Franz Wagner being in and out. Like, this has been a constantly rotating mix of talent. They still have to figure out how you put all those pieces together and how Paolo plays within that or along with those pieces. So I'm not ready to say he's not capable of being that guy, but I agree with you 1,000%. Like, I am flummoxed by what I have seen from him this season in particular. So
let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
When we talk about that guy, we're obviously talking about championship contender. I know he can be a really good player, make an all-star game.
Yeah.
How many guys that are championship contenders? Well, I look at the history of the game, right?
Yeah.
How many guys where teams really aren't scared of you shooting, do those teams win championships?
Yeah.
Like, I know I'm just saying, like, it's one thing if he played like Magic Johnson back in the day. Okay, they weren't scared of him shooting, but he's going to get 12 dimes. That's not his game. He's a guy that likes to catch, hold, and dominate the rock. He's not necessarily getting 10, 12 assists, but then it's like that mid-range jumper, no one's really scared of him taking that. They're not scared of him taking walk-up threes or threes behind the screen and roll. When he doesn't have the ball, they're not really scared of him taking catch and shoot threes. He doesn't even like to take those. He likes to catch and jab. Like, I don't think this present, this present version of his game is not conducive to winning. If he learns to his summer workouts should just simply be this: hey, dog, all that other stuff, I ain't worried about that. I'm going to learn to catch and shoot from the strong side corner, weak side corner, top of the key.
Yeah.
And then it's almost, I say that I'll give it the Chris Paul workout. And for the young guys, what I mean by that is when Chris Paul first came in this league a long time ago, people used to go 2-man removed on screens. That means when they set a screen, the point guard would go underneath his man and the guy setting the screen, they would dare Chris to shoot it. And all of a sudden, Chris got to the point where it wasn't nothing crazy. If you did that, he could just walk up and get to a rise-up jumper, bang, changed everything for the Clippers.
Yep.
Because if you can't run that coverage, now you got to get out there. Now the lob's open for Blake Griffin. Now he's throwing the ball to J.J. Redick or Jamal Crawford in the corner because the defense had to rotate. They got to switch. Bang, bang, bang. But if you can go two-man removed under, if he would have stayed that player, it would have never really worked for
The
Chris
space
the
would have
way
never
that it
been
did.
there.
Exactly. And that's what Paolo has to learn. It's like, yo, as much as you got all the fancy moves, it needs to be, this summer needs to be back to basics.
Yep.
Catch, shoot. Because if you really think about it, go back to Duke. He didn't like to catch and shoot at Duke. He liked to catch, hold, jab, pump fake. That ain't gonna cut it. There's a time and place for that. But when you gotta do that every possession, when you gotta jab, pump every single time,
I'm with you. I'm not disagreeing with any of that. I will say I was amazed that the Warriors, with the way they were going at the end of the season, that they went down to LA, and you saw it for the better part of this of the game. Like, I thought this was the Clippers to be had, and then the Steph Curry magic one more time. And I'm wondering, well, among all the players that you played with, because I know this being around the team as much as I am, the confidence that he effuses in guys that would never be players. Like, you saw it, I think it was, I can't remember which quarter it was at the end of the second quarter, third quarter. He's coming down, last second shot. Everybody's waiting for Steph to jack it. He throws it ahead for Guy Santos to try like a 40-footer. Never thinks twice about it. Guy nearly banks it in. Like, the confidence that he gives guys that otherwise, to get them to play way above their heads, I don't know that I've ever seen that. Even with LeBron made guys better, right? Jordan made the guys around him better, Kobe, but this is a different, like, they made them better in part because of the gravity. Steph makes them believe that they're, it's kind of weird, but makes them believe they're better than they are. Like, or maybe better than you would think they are based on what we've seen prior to them playing with Steph.
I think it's very similar to LeBron. LeBron and Steph both have a gift. They can raise the tide of the room around them. They can also instill confidence in guys. First of all, by just being out there and their presence. The second thing is, when those guys are out there, it might go by differently, but you're going to be open. If you set Steph a screen, you'll be open. Which makes it's a lot easier to score when if LeBron gets downhill and three guys got to get into the paint. Ask those corner shooters how wide open they were when they were playing with someone like LeBron James. I think the best I heard it explained was, you remember old school Steve Smith, Smitty, king of the half spin?
Yeah.
He said, I was always able to get shots when I was in Miami and when I played in Atlanta. For those that don't know, Steve Smith was a Hall of Fame big point guard back in the day, played small forward, but played big point guard too, right? He said, but when I went to the Spurs and I played with David Robinson and Tim Duncan, I didn't score as much, but I've never had an easier time. Because the shots were wide open, because it's like, yo, when they ran a pick and roll and Tim and David were in the post or they doubled, he was like, yo, I'm wide open. Like, I'm not catching it, trying to rush the seams because somebody's coming out. I'm wide open. When you play with, so for Steve Smith, it was Tim Duncan and David Robinson. For some of these other guys, it's LeBron James, it's Steph Curry. When you play with these great players, they create such a problem that you get shots that you never knew that you would have that much time to shoot. You get layups. Set Steph a screen and slip to the basket. You'll get a layup.
Yeah.
Draymond Green has made a career off of it. No disrespect to Dre. How many times have we seen Dre come over with a dribble handoff, fake it to Steph, everybody go with Steph, and he just keeps on going for a layup? And guess what? Draymond Green is not a natural scorer. He needs that. If you want him to be able to hit a shot later in the game, he needs to get 2 to 3 easy ones so that when it's time for him to shoot that 3, he's already 4 or 5. You know what I'm saying? Like, he needs to set a screen and slip to the basket and 3 guys run with Steph, he gets a layup. That's the Steph Curry effect. All eyes are always on him, so that allows other guys to fly underneath the radar and get great looks, and that raises guys' confidence.
So you're not shocked by the fact that, considering the way the Clippers have been playing down the stretch and the way the Warriors, conversely, were playing down the stretch, that the Warriors went in there and they took that game?
No, I'm not surprised that anything that's a one-game setting, it's kind of like the NCAA tournament. That's what this that like the playing game is similar to an NCAA tournament where you might see a 15 seed knock off a 2. Now you don't think that 15 seed would win in a series, but in a one game setting,
Right.
anything can happen, especially if you have Steph Curry. Now I would be shocked if the Golden State Warriors were to go into a playoff series and win. That would be shocking. But one game against any team they can win because they got that dude, the Bayesian sensation, Steph Curry.
It's true. It's true. Well, so what?
Can we make that
They've
name
got
stick,
Phoenix
the Bayesian
coming up.
sensation?
Who do you like? What?
I said, can we make that nickname stick? The Bayesian sensation? No, maybe. All right, we'll see.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
No. Yeah.
All right.
No. I mean, it was good just to throw it out there.
I tried.
But now to
I
put
tried.
a spotlight on it and ask,
tried.
like, can we make T-shirts with it written on it?
Yeah. You know what? Yeah. You know what? I'm out of line. Let's continue.
It's a little much. You went just.
I mean, I'm just so happy that the sound is good today. Let's go. Let's
Oh,
keep
me
rocking.
too, brother. Tell me, I'm just my ears are just like tingling with the dulcet sounds of the Reverend Brendan Haywood. I don't know why Reverend Brendan Haywood.
You're struggling with it.
The Reverend. I'm just going to go with the Reverend. All right. So one of the other incidents in the play-ins was LaMelo Ball doing the Cobra Kai, sweep the leg on Bam Adebayo, which I don't want to say the Miami Heat would have won otherwise. Obviously,
Possible.
Very possible, but I don't want to completely. You know this, right? Like, we always like, if that guy had played, they would have won without question. Things change. You never know. But there was no penalty for LaMelo Ball in the moment because there was no whistle. Play continued, and under the NBA rules, they could not go back and obviously call a foul or a flagrant foul or eject. There was no, the referees there could not take any action. And I have a problem with that. Do you have a problem with that? Or is that just, it happens? That's how it happens sometimes.
And on this one, I'm really on the fence because I have a problem because LaMelo makes the clipping penalty and Bam's out for the rest of the game. And I think that's unfair. But at the same time, how many times have we seen guys trip somebody, they get frustrated, stick their leg out, and whether you think it's a foul or a dirty play, fine, but that player doesn't get thrown out the game. Like, I think that you'd almost have to change the rule to, if you clip somebody and they fall and they get hurt, you get thrown out too. Because I've seen guys like, pull the old school Grayson Allen from Duke and get pissed off and clip a guy and that guy stumbles, and we might highlight the play as a dirty play, but we don't say, oh, throw him out. What we're doing here is we're judging the play based on what happened to the player.
Right.
Because Bam was unable to finish the game, now we're saying throw him out. If Bam would have just stumbled and kept going, we wouldn't even be talking about this. So I don't even think there's a way that we can change that rule to, oh yeah, they should be able to go back and throw the guy out, because you'd only be throwing that guy out if you felt the other player couldn't play no more. Like if he fell and hit his teeth and knocked all his teeth out his mouth or something.
Yeah. Yeah, you make a good point. I just feel there's something wrong with the fact that we have instant replay. And the reason that we have instant replay is to get it right. And I'm going to push back a little bit on the idea that the big issue is that Bam couldn't continue. That certainly makes it worse. But the play itself, you're on the floor, the guy's standing on balancing on one foot, and you grab his leg. Like, what do you think's going to happen? There's times where there are flagrant fouls called, or somebody gets hit in the head, whatever. I think that Kawhi Leonard hit Brandon Pajemski on a breakaway, right? And ended up putting his forearm underneath Brandon's chin. that wasn't an overt, like he was moving with the ball. We see that a lot on drives where guys are coming in and they're trying to make the play and they hit a guy with an elbow. I don't see those situations where that was necessarily intentional. I don't know how else to look at what LaMelo did other than that was intentional. I'm grabbing the dude's foot, back of his heel, and I'm pulling. What do you think could possibly happen? That he said it was afterward, which I thought was just incredible. He goes, just basketball. I go, that's not basketball. That's not a basketball play. And my problem is, Brendan, that
Who's Brandon?
I know. I'm all over the place. You know what? My ears are full of sounds. So now I'm making extra ones. This is the problem that I have, is that we have instant replay and we have instant replay to get it right. And now we have rules in place where the entire world sees something that happens that is unjust, and we can't utilize instant replay in order to get it right. You have an entire replay center in Secaucus looking at it. The entire world knows what LaMelo did and that that's a flagrant foul. No question. Why can't we go back and fix it?
I mean, I'm not mad if they would have fixed it, but I don't think they would have thrown him out the game.
Okay, but at the very least, like, I would feel different if it was a flagrant foul and he's playing the rest of the game with a flagrant foul and you get the free throws and the ball and the possession. Like, at least there was some penalty against the Charlotte Hornets instead of the entire penalty being taken by the Miami Heat in losing Bam Adebayo. That just feels inherently. It feels as wrong to me. And I said this in my podcast and in my other podcast, is that it feels as bad to me as when Robert Horry chucked Steve Nash into the scorer's table, and because there was a rule that if you come off the bench, that you have a 1-game suspension. As a result of that happening at the end of Game 4, Robert Horry was suspended 2 games, but Boris Diaw and Amari Stoudemire were suspended for Game 5, going back to Phoenix. Like, the series is 2-2. That swung the entire series. And neither one of them did anything. They just walked off the bench because Steve Nash got hit, got chucked into the scorer's table right by their bench. That to me is just wrong. And this feels like it's in the same category.
I agree that I thought it was a dirty play. I thought it was unnecessary. Quite frankly, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not a big violence person, but if I'm Bam Adebayo, next time I see LaMelo, it's on site. It's on site. It is on site. I don't care. I don't care where it is. If we had a function in Vegas in the summertime, hey man, you better have LiAngelo and Lonzo with you. It's on site. But in the spirit of this rule, I'm just saying, I think that we could have made it a flagrant foul. I would have been okay with that. But I think the real problem here is when you see a trip or something of that nature, we're responding because of how hurt Bam Adebayo was. The result. If Bam would have just stumbled and kept it moving, we wouldn't care. And that's where it's going to be tough for an official to make the call, because it's like, okay, am I making the flagrant foul call on the trip or on the fall? What am I doing? Are we going to start doing this when guys set illegal screens? Because I know a lot of times the guys running full speed, you stick your knee out in one way, pow, guys have hurt, thigh contusions, hammies, groins. Like, what are we doing? It's a very slippery slope. But I'm with you. I thought the play by LaMelo was dirty. I didn't like the way Bam fell and how he was taken out of this game. And if I'm Bam Adebayo, I know LaMelo apologized. I sincerely do not accept your apology if I'm Bam.
You do know that this is also the second time that LaMelo has done this to Bam. Back in January 2024, Bam is starting to go up the court. I don't know how LaMelo ended up on the floor, but Bam is running the other way. LaMelo's on the floor and he grabs his foot. Now, he didn't fall. Bam didn't fall in that case, but very, very similar circumstance. And that's where, man, come on. Like,
Hey, next time they play the Hornets, Bam might just like it might be one of those situations where you tell
well,
you tell the coaching staff, hey, run them off a screen this way, and you flatten them.
do you think Bam is the kind of guy that will do that? Because
I
that's
I don't think that is who Bam is.
yeah,
But I'm just saying, if I was Bam,
yeah,
right? If I
yeah,
was Bam, when we first time we play Charlotte, might be the first play. Matter of fact, I want it to be the first play of the game because I don't want him. I want him to know it's intentional. Hey,
yeah,
run. We had a play called turn 5. You could call it turn 4. All it was, well, you remember that play. Basically, everybody ran it. It was just a simple curl play to get your big man the ball. I would listen, we'll run some action like that. Run him off the baseline. Let me set the screen, and I'm
yep,
going to screen him into the person sitting in the front row. That's what I like. But and I wanted to be the first play of the game because I wanted to know, yeah, I ain't forgot. Listen, that what you did last year, it was some you know what.
yeah.
It was some you know what, and I want you to know that I ain't forgot. And then from there we can play after that. But I'm gonna get my lick back. Gonna screen him into the concession stand if I'm Bam Adebayo.
I want to hit one more subject before we go, and I'm going to give you your choice. This is going to be a
Okay.
potpourri here.
Okay,
We
I
can
like
either
that. I like potpourri.
okay. We can either. I like your setup. Can I just say that? I'm really.
Yeah, man, you got a lot. Hey, man, you got the Carolina right there.
You
Carolina in
got
the background.
you got a lot
Wizards
of
photo
uniforms
right
here,
there.
bro.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
got
well,
a
yeah. That got the Dallas this way. Dallas Mavericks right there. The Wizards
yep,
joint behind it. Yeah, got a
yep,
lot of uniforms, man.
yeah. Okay. So we can go either with the Charlotte Hornets have 5 guys who are extension eligible this summer, and an unrestricted free agent in Kobe White. And I do believe that that's one of the great values in them making like these play-in games. And ideally, if they make the postseason, you get to see some of these guys in the playoffs before you have to make decisions on whether you're extending them or not. But you got LaMelo, Brandon Miller, Miles Bridges, Josh Green, and Grant Williams are the extension eligible this summer. And then Kobe White is the unrestricted free agent. You can keep all of them because except for Kobe for next season. You don't have to necessarily extend them at this point. You have the opportunity. Everybody's under contract. But are there guys there that you put at the top of the list in terms of we're ready to extend you now. We're ready to commit to you now. And the other guys where you go, let's have another year before we decide exactly what we're going to do on them. And do you re-sign Kobe White at all costs, or is that you have to make a business decision on that?
No. I re-signed Kobe White at all costs.
Okay.
Did you see what he was doing?
Yeah. No.
You see,
Hey, making
Kobe,
Chicago Bulls look bad. That's what he was doing.
well, the Chicago Bulls front office has made themselves look bad for quite some time now. Like it's,
No. He just added. He
I'm
added
just
to
saying,
it on the way
you
out the
trade
door.
Kobe White and Ayu within the same season. Don't get a first round pick back. We talked about this at a previous episode. What's been going on in Chicago is malpractice.
Yeah.
Bulls fans, don't get mad at me. Just look at what's happened.
They do
Now,
have 2 first round picks though this year as a result of the way things have shook out. So, just saying.
malpractice. Now, getting back to your original question, what I would do is I would re-sign Kobe because first of all, he fits. You watch him, they love him. He brings in. He's always been this guy. Like you go talk to people at UNC, they're like, "Yo, he's just a great kid." Great players that are great players that are great people. You keep those guys because there's a lot of guys that they're great players, but they're not a joy to be around for 82 games. There's a lot of guys that can score the basketball, but people don't like them.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
so
you gotta measure what they give you versus what they cost you.
exactly. So when you got a guy that's as energetic, always ready, always upbeat as Kobe White, and then has proven, hey, when the moment's bright, give it to me. I got that corner 3 for you. Bow. Like, yeah, you want to roll with that guy. Everybody else, I kind of want to bring them back and see how it shapes out.
Everybody.
Well, hey, listen, Josh Green and Grant Williams, if I lose those guys, I lose them.
Yeah.
But the core guys that you named,
Yeah.
I'm going to hold off on for the most part. But obviously, you wanted LaMelo and those guys. But Bridges. You want all those guys back, but I want to bring this back because this team is very interesting. I want to say their average win is by 18 points per game
during the regular season.
Yeah, it's something wild.
Okay.
Fact check me though, because I could be wrong. I
Yeah.
thought, but because I'm on the spot, I might have the number wrong. But when they win, just know this: their win margin is high, one of the highest in the league.
Yeah.
But then they have 38 losses.
Yeah.
So it's like they're such an up and down team that it's like, yo, let me get another training camp because this is the first time that LaMelo's played 70 plus games in like 2-3 seasons. They've cut his minutes down, cut his shot attempts down. So with the way this team presently is constructed, I said this before and I'll say it again. They're kind of built like the Indiana Pacers from last year. They don't have one guy that we think is going to be first team All NBA, but they got 4 to 5 guys that can give you 20 to 30 on any given night. And on a lot of nights, it's going to be multiple. It's going to be 18 here, 22 there, 23 here. And it makes it very hard for teams to lock in on just one guy. Yeah. So for me, if I'm the Hornets, I'm going to run it back. You finally got something good going. It's been a very long time. Your draft picks has been Brandon Miller looks like a hit. Khan looks like a hit. Listen, you made a great trade. The front office knocked it out the park. Over the last couple of seasons, you got Brandon Miller in the draft. You got Cunningham this year. You pick up Kobe White, the trade deadline. You got so much positivity. Let's keep that going and don't lose any major contributors.
Yeah. Yeah, the tricky part for me is going to be LaMelo Ball, both on and off the court. It's just what we said. Like talent-wise.
Just get him a driver and he'll be fine.
Well, but would you say he's probably the face of that franchise?
I guess so. Yes, he's the face of when you think of the Hornets, you think of LaMelo Ball.
Yeah.
But I will say this. That could be shifting soon.
Yeah.
Because you got if Brandon Miller continues to get better, Cunningham, like LaMelo did what he did. LaMelo played under 30 minutes a game.
Yeah.
So they have 2 young guys that at any point, if one of those guys became the face, I don't think we would be shocked.
This is the tricky part okay, so whether he's the face, I mean, as of right now, he's the face. He's going to be a prominent, visible part of your team. And the off the court stuff has to stop. Like you just can't be driving around Charlotte the way that he's driving. You can't be a menace. All right. And then the other part is you had this incident in the game with Bam, and he was totally unprepared to answer the questions afterward. Like when you're that visible for a team, you need to be able to perform in front of the microphone and the cameras as well as on the court. It does have an impact on people, on how people see your team and how they see you. And the fact that he was like, I got hit in the head, I didn't know what was happening. And then he was asked, well, did you go into concussion protocol? And he's like, why would I go into concussion protocol? Oh, wait a minute. I just said that the reason I did what I did was because I didn't know where I was and I got hit in the head. And by the way, you didn't get hit in the head. You hit your head. Okay. There's a slight difference there. And I'm not wishing ill on him. I hope he gets it. I hope he grows up. Like, I'm fascinated watching him. The kid's got some special talent, and obviously the guys playing with him kind of love playing with him. There's part of it like we could do with a few less threes, out of the blue, off script, whatever. But by and large, this is going to be very interesting to see the decisions that the Hornets make with LaMelo Ball in particular. There's no changes or whether they make a move.
There's no decision for the Hornets. Unless somebody's going to walk out there and just give you, unless somebody's about to give you Anthony Edwards, unless somebody's about to give you Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I'm throwing out trades that I obviously know won't happen. This is the first positive momentum that the Charlotte Hornets have had in a very long time.
Yeah.
You can't move LaMelo. You can't.
I'm not suggesting that you move him. I'm not suggesting you move him, but you got to figure out, like, if you're keeping him, and you probably, by and large, you're going to keep him. I don't know that the market is tremendous for him, but you got to figure out what you're going to do with him, like how you handle him.
Well, I mean, listen, some guys you handle them by basically allowing them to talk less because they are who they are. LaMelo Ball seems like he is who he is when it comes down to getting on the microphone and answering questions. Anthony Edwards seems like he is who he is. Anthony Edwards does not always answer questions correctly, but we all know that he's a dog and he can play. And sometimes you got a guy that, might not be the guy you need having the mic in his face right after the game.
Yeah.
Man, he helps us win.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. When you look at LaMelo, I still don't love the field goal percentage. 40% for a big point guard. I think that could be higher from the field. Sometimes I watch the threes and I'm with you. Hey, maybe we should stay away from that first side jumper. But at the end of the day, when I look at his impact on this team this year, it's been a positive.
Yeah.
He's cut down his turnovers from, like, his turnovers now under 3. Over the last couple of seasons, they've been close to 4. So he's cutting down his turnovers. He's shooting the ball less, and he was healthy.
Yeah.
If I'm on the Charlotte Hornets front office right now, we're going to keep all the positivity moving in that direction, and we're going to make sure that LaMelo is here as long as he needs to be.
Charles Lee is not going to win Coach of the Year. I don't even know how many ballots he may necessarily appear on. I've been really impressed with the way he's handled this team. Really impressed. This is a young team. You've got a wild card like LaMelo, and Charles is a young coach who really doesn't have a proven track record prior to this. I really have been impressed with how he has shaped this team and moved forward and established his authority with them.
When you're a young coach, you got to establish, this is how we're going to do things. And players are going to test you to see, are you who you say you are? And I think that moment came kind of this year where you look at, remember there was that weird time where it was like a soft benching of LaMelo, like he was coming off the bench and they were giving us this song and dance. Hey, man, you can't sell me BS. I know the prices. When your best player is coming off the bench, you're trying to send a message to everybody else. He can get it, so can you. Get in line. When you're a young coach, sometimes you got to have that moment where you show the locker room, I ain't scared of y'all. I ain't scared of y'all. If you're coaching scared, you're not going to be as effective. When you're a young coach and you weren't a Hall of Famer and you can't come in there with this decorated jacket and say, look what I've done. That doesn't even work out for some people that have done some things. There've been some guys. I'm going in the wrong direction, but you know where I'm going. When you can't say that and you got to prove it with your actions, you got to not be scared. You got to show guys that my way is going to work. And if anybody gets out of line, sometimes you got to have that tough conversation with your stars in front of everybody and let them know this is how we're going to do things.
See, this is Brendan. I look at you as sort of a cross between Denzel Washington and Kenan Thompson.
Oh, I was hyped, and then all of a sudden I was offended.
It's a combination. I think you have
do I look like I'm gaining weight?
No, but I think you have the comedic touch of a Kenan Thompson.
Okay.
And now, because of your fidelity when it comes to the audio, people can now appreciate the full experience that is the Reverend Brendan Haywood.
Wow.
All right. That does it for this episode. There will be many more episodes ahead, especially because now we've got it dialed. Brendan, appreciate all the effort. Good seeing you again. We'll do it again next week.
Appreciate it, man. Now we got the sound going.